간단하게 스위치를 한번 뜯어볼까? 어우, 잘 안 뜯어진다 이거. 아니 요즘 과자도 왜 안 뜯어져? 에라이 씨. 게임 시작. 스토리 계속하기.
It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob two banks at the same time. Two banks on the same damn street. The story was Bob Dalton's girl was always riding him about how he had no ambition. Or you're nobody next to Jesse James, she'd say. Finally, the bastard took his brothers to Coffeyville just to shut her up. Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off. Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property.
아, 참. 석양이 진다.
The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently. First of all, it was high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
뭐야? 나 왜
Our
만든
men
거야?
had been tracking the Daltons for months. Now they finally had them dead to rights. Among them was a bounty hunter feared by many a lawbreaker. This man had no intention of letting the Daltons slip away. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. We just gotta work the son of bitches out.
This bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns. He went in there alone to confront those criminals. One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? That rifle's mine.
He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank. Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting. From above.
아, 여기.
Fortunately, a water tower was right there. A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did. It was brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
이게 뭐야?
아,
We've got company.
석양이 진다.
Heroic men like him, who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free. Jim Booth,
Is that
Davy
Silas
Crockett,
Greaves?
who died
Son of
defending
a
the
bitch!
Allies.
아, 잠깐만. 일단 부터. 아이씨 안 맞나? 들어가시고요.
I'm gonna make you pay for that.
Over there.
Reeves, what the hell?
석양해진다. 야, 저
Bland,
도망갔다.
Bland. He came away victorious, taking down those thieving Daltons.
빠.
His name?
게임 오버.
Silas Greaves. And when the dust finally settled, he was the last man standing.
Sorry, kid, but that just
Hi,
wasn't the
Joshua.
way it happened. It was early evening, not high noon. Daltons blew up a safe, and were all set to hightail it out of there. Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies.
게임이 대박으로 되어 있어요. 바꾸셔야 할 듯.
바꿨는데 잠깐만요. 업데이트 안 돼 있네? 일단 업데이트 했어요. 이걸 바꾸면 업데이트 안 돼.
새로 고침해도 대바대인데요.
바꿨어요 지금.
Banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew him. But they still had friends in Coffeeville.
방패병력? 아이씨. 방패병 따위가 있어. 죽으라고, 씨. 들어가야 돼.
이건 또 무슨 게임이야?
Those friends came after me like a pack of wild dogs, tooth and nail. They were
시장님
coming
좋아요.
at me from all
서부의
directions.
총잡이 게임요.
I caught sight of the Daltons running with the
어디야,
money and
여기요?
didn't want to lose those boys. Problem was, they knew the town better than I did. And to top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout entirely.
Did the Daltons hold up in somebody's house?
No, it was the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of the Daltons. And they were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons. Which wasn't any surprise, because those two families have been feuding forever.
희한한 게임
Since the
많이
Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths. This
뭐야, 이거?
Hoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith. Well, bullets were flying every which way as all the old
희한한
feuds in
게임요.
Kansas
재밌는
caught fire
게임을
all
하는
at
거야.
once. There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeeville. that
약간
day.
오락실 게임 느낌
But that's just the
나잖아요.
way life is sometimes. Shit happens.
재미있는 게임.
재밌는 게임이잖아 이거. 전설의 명작인데. 뭐야? 안 보이는데?
The Dalton boys knew I would never give up. Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together. They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least two of them to escape. The third brother stayed behind to plant me, just in case that trap of theirs didn't work.
어떻게 같은 거야?
It was Emmett, the youngest, and he decided to stand his ground and face me down.
I ain't afraid of you, son of Reeves. This is where it ends for you. He was determined to protect his brothers.
어이씨, 뭐 상대가 없는데?
Taking
오,
him
3만.
on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long life.
어이, 야 막내가 왜 이렇게 세냐? 막내가 맷집이 너무 센데? 아이고 저 숨을 데가 없는데? 게임 뭐 잘못된 거 아니야 이거? 아니 애초에 이렇게 싸울 거면 뭐하러 도망간 거야? 야, 야 매칭 너무 센데 얘? 야 매칭 너무 센 거 아니야 이거?
survived the robbery in Coffeyville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in him? But I have to admit, that boy had grit.
We'll get those suckers.
It took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
They can't get away with this.
And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
We'll track him to the ends of the earth.
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws. But as we headed into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
길이 어디 안 돼?
롬하.
야림실이야.
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell. It was tough to stay on a true course. So we kept an eye out for landmarks.
컴퓨터로 들어와야지.
It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color.
뭐야?
Red as blood.
에? 나무가 왜 갑자기 자라?
The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody.
응? 이거 못 올라가네. 아, 길이 어디에요?
harm, so I had to face him alone. I wondered why my compatriots didn't come running when they heard the shots.
아 여기
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet, but I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends. The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause. Point being, I was under serious attack.
아 다이나마이트 오 다이나마이트
Reinforcements was nowhere to be seen. But luckily, a barn materialized as if right before my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view. But just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running through the bushes. Of course, I followed them. But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was. Steve? So I just started walking, and pretty soon Steve? Steve!
Huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
Indians?
There were Indians.
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention. Now, where was I?
You were following the Daltons through a swamp?
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
No, I'm listening. I was just resting my eyes.
So, where was I?
The Daltons.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
Bounty hunter! Stop that, So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet. But I did find a few of their cousins. Two Kansans breed like rabbits.
뭐야 이거?
Bounty hunters! Stop that, So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet. But I did find a few of their cousins.
Bounty hunters! Stop that, So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet. But I did find a few of their cousins. Two Kansans breed like rabbits. Or Smiths or Heimhoffers or who knows what. But hell, what's more important than family? I'll bet Ben knows what I'm talking about. A lot of those paths seem to be leading nowhere.
여기 어디야? 아, 저로 가야 되는데 어디로 가야 되지? 아니 총알이 어디서 나오는 거야? 아 미친 총알 안 보이는데 저걸 피하러.
knew those Dalton boys were out there somewhere, standing together against anyone who would threaten them. And that's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps? Guess it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board. It was then that a fusillade of bullets come raining down from on high. And those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found. But among those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw some familiar faces. Somewhere up there, the Daltons were waiting on me.
아. 뭐야?
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
아, 차고 내려왔어요.
Right about then, much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit. Huh? It turned out that they had me.
Take him out! I'm sending you to hell!
The Daltons had played me like a fiddle. Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Well, yeah, but I was in a
Did you
fight.
hear about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
You're talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed big. I don't think it'll even float.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
oh God.
But getting back to that steamboat, how did you get off it, Mr. Breeze?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. I was coughing up smoke and pretty damn pissed. I was done playing games with those boys. It was time to settle this once and for all. About to come at me one at a time. They were in this together. Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side.
아이씨. 옆집 사야 돼.
They got it wrong. A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds. Paroled 14 years later, he moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day. And the tragic death of his two brothers. My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told. It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night after my brothers retired for the evening, I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys. And I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us.
게임 잘 만든 것 같은데.
It was
왜
Johnny
그렇게
Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them later. Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, "I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy." those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us, but being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me, until I heard he was riding with the Wild Bunch. I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains. Led by Butch Cassidy, they were a loose association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid, and that murderous hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant. They blew the bridge with the intention of forcing the train to stop. Well, I assumed the Wild Bunch was likely in the still intact part of the train high above. I was determined to make that sumbitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers.
따거 그거 클리어한 거 아닌가요?
Blowing up that bridge.
이거요? 클리어 안 했는데 뭔 소리야? 하다가
Well, I
꽂잖아요.
made my way off unscathed.
새벽에
I came
껐어요.
upon a few members of the gang and had no choice but to dispatch them. From there, I had to negotiate an even more precarious route.
여기 있네.
But first, I would need to get my ass out of there.
이야기가 벌어지고 있다고? 그럼 이쪽으로 가야 돼?
I jumped from the frying pan into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall. I had found the gang, but in order to find old Bob, I needed to fight my way forward past a whole passel of desperados. Outside, inside, any way I could, I made my way towards my prey.
Well, what about the passengers?
It was mostly a freight train, as I recall. There were no passengers aboard that day. As I mentioned before, I am not fond of heights. But I was too busy dodging bullets to worry about falling to my death. Odds were I was likely to die that day anyway. So I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could.
야, 길이 없는데? 가야 돼. 또 가야 돼.
At times, it was like shooting ducks in a shooting gallery. The only difference is these damn ducks shot back. I kept hoping the law would show up and give me a hand.
You mean like that giant Pinkerton posse that I read about? Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
help? From the Pinkertons? No, son. I had to fight the Wild Bunch all by my lonesome, as usual.
Who the hell is that? Retreat! Retreat!
뭐야 이거? 아, 산탄총 사수였구나. 아.
My guess is those dime novels didn't portray this as it happened, did they? Only a few stragglers were left. I had to cut them down pronto if I was going to stay on old Bob's trail.
아따 이거 쓸어버리는 맛이 있구나 이거. 어디야? 나 왜 앞에 왔어? 또 어디야? 아씨 어디지?
Once I silenced all those guns, I went searching for my nemesis, determined to finally have my justice. But the only survivor who welcomed me was George Flat-Nosed Curry.
Who was he?
The fastest gun in the gang. Right after Sundance, I mean. And Kid Curry, and maybe Elsie Lay. Though some folks might dispute that.
아 왜? 아니 내가 왜 지는 거야 이거? 아.
On that very same
Yeah, I
day,
get that,
Butch
Jessica.
Cassidy and the Sundance Kid decided to leave the Wild Bunch behind and decamped for South America. They ended up living down there for many years, but I'm sure you already know all about that.
까지 1분 30초.
I tried to find Bob Bryant, but it was as if he'd disappeared. Sometime later, I heard the Wild Bunch was back together. Kid Curry escaped from jail, and now he was running the whole shebang. So I took to their trail, as I was still in pursuit of my brother's killer and hoped that he was back with him.
That Kid Curry's kinda crazy. Don't let him...
Anyways, I tracked those boys to a camp right outside Parachute, Colorado. Being outnumbered, I didn't bother with a warning shot. I just started taking those bastards down. Old Bob wasn't among them, and neither was Kid Curry. I could sense him close by, however, plotting something nasty. I just needed a clue as to their whereabouts.
Something's coming. We don't kill him, the kid'll kill us.
이야기야 왜 멀어지고 있어?
And I found one. A map with their bold plan clearly marked. This time they were fixing to blow up a train trestle. Property of the Union Pacific. The plan clearly indicated how they were fixing to undermine several of the weakest wooden supports. Kid Curry was considered the wildest of the wild bunch. It was said that he fathered 85 bastard children, though some say it was only 5. Kid Curry had bragged to a whore how he was gonna rob a train heading to the U.S. Mint in Denver. And that whore, Fat Sally, she told me. The bridge was rigged with dynamite, so I decided I'd best be careful confronting those bastards. And I made it a point to remove any dynamite that I came across. A moment later, I saw a ladder that somehow had escaped my attention.
Don't you blow us up now.
Don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
But the Wild Bunch did not take kindly to my presence and attempted to blow my head off. It appeared the kid had found a number of new recruits to bolster their ranks. Guess there's always desperate men willing to trade their lives for stolen treasure.
What happened next?
Well, having removed the first bundle of dynamite, I decided I might as well remove the other one. Once that was done, I figured I'd find my way from there.
아 너무 들이댄다.
So what happened then?
Had to remove more of that damn dynamite.
It must have been terrifying trying to make your way across.
I was sweating it a bit, but then I noticed a footbridge tied up on high, so I shot the rope.
So that was all the dynamite?
Funny you should mention that, darling. As actually, there was a fourth charge impeding my progress. Once I removed it, my path was pretty clear. So I proceeded onward, to realize that that way just wasn't gonna work. I needed an alternate path forward. Of course, I had to tread carefully. Otherwise, I could, well, die. Luckily, I found a cave, and as I made my way back to the bridge, I saw something that concerned me. It was a long, burning fuse, and it was moving fast as hell. I had to catch it. The burning fuse was so damn quick, I had to run like the wind. I almost had it, but no. Thought I was gonna have a coronary when I lost sight of those sparks. My heart was pounding like a sledgehammer. I knew that failure meant boom. Then, finally, at the last moment.
뭐야 이거?
Whew.
아 이걸
Of course, I was successful, or clearly I wouldn't be talking to you folks here today. Naturally, I removed the last dynamite charge.
Well, it was a touching reunion.
But by this time, I was thoroughly exhausted and dragging my ass as I was not a young man anymore.
Kill that SOB! Make him bleed! Send him to forget!
Finally, I found those boys. Or more precisely, they found me. Just when I thought things couldn't get worse, Kid Curry opened up on me with a goddamn Gatling gun. It was hidden in this tunnel and pretty well shielded.
피드 커리. 아이 나쁜 놈. 숨어서 때리네.
Luckily, I had located some dynamite. I still, however, had my work cut out for me.
Guess you had enough, huh?
뭐야 이거? 아포감 죽네? 근데 왜 죽는 거야?
What are you, yellow? That smells like a killing.
아니 왜 죽는 거야? 엄폐하고 있는데. 아, 잘못 던졌어. 다이너마이트 잘못 던졌어. 너무 욕심부리면 죽네. 진짜 끔찍하네. 보스 디자인이 좀 망가졌다. 아, 왜 죽는 건지 모르겠어. 아이씨. 예.
뒤로.
What are you? You know? Damn it, I need some help here. Are you kidding me? Come on, boys. Take this son of a bitch out. It's not fair. These bastards. Give me a hand here, goddammit.
아, 이제 알겠어. 어떻게 하는지. 아, 씨. 뭐야, 이거 내가 왜 죽는 거야? 아니, 나 왜 죽는데, 여기서. 아.
I think he's scared. You can't beat me.
아, 나, 씨. 다시 할게.
You know who I am? God damn it, I need some help here. Come on, boys. Take this son of a bitch out. Get out of here. It's not fair. Gonna make you bleed. Eat that bastard. Give me a hand here. Flank this cocksucker. Move it, boys.
아, 무정한 산탄총 진짜, 씨.
Damn it, I need some help here. Come on, boys. Take this son of a bitch out. Get out of here, you coward. Are you kidding me? Give me a hand here, goddammit. Move it, boys.
뭐야. 아.
I think he's scared.
I brought that tunnel down. And that's when I met Kid Curry himself. He had decided to stop pussyfooting around and deal with me personally.
아나 드디어 아씨.
As fast as he was, I was just a bit faster.
내가 한 수이다 이 자식아. 아.
And as he lay wounded, I demanded to know the whereabouts of Roscoe Bob Bryant. He shouted at me. Is that what this is about? Bob went with Butch and Sundance to South America. You ain't never finding him. Those were his last words.
So, Bob Bryant got away?
I knew I'd never find him in South America.
What about the other killer?
Yeah, you kinda glossed over that one.
Well, I found Jim not long after my showdown with Ringo. At the time, he was riding with the James Younger gang. Did I neglect to mention that?
Jesse James? The greatest outlaw who ever lived?
Jesse and his kin rode with Quantrill when he raided Lawrence, Kansas, and killed near 200 people, boy.
Nothing great about that.
And from there, him and his brother went on to rob banks and trains from Kansas to Missouri.
Which is why there was such a rich bounty on their heads. 40 grand for both of them, dead or alive. That's one hell of a payday. I confronted them as they were robbing a train. Bullets were flying at me from every which way. But I knew I'd have to fight my way forward if I was gonna find this Jim.
Now, wait a second. Now, how'd they stop this train in the first place?
Well, the James boys were experts at this.
이건 맞아. 기차가 먼저. 아니 무슨 보는 것만 그렇지.
They hopped a freight train, having heard there was a big payroll in the express safe. So, I hopped the same train. The James Younger gang was decimated after that little fiasco they had in Northfield, Minnesota. So Jesse needed more men and took on the killer I was after, along with a host of others. I was hoping to find my man and put a bullet in his head. Climbing around that train, I must have swallowed 100 damn bugs before I
The
reached
James
that...
Younger gang pulled the first train robbery west of the Mississippi.
Sounds like you hold them in high regard.
Everyone knows they were the most famous outlaw gang ever.
And you took them all on by your lonesome. Again. I'm finding this all a little hard to swallow, friend.
Well, maybe you need to wash it down with some whiskey. By the way, did I mention that that train was flying down those tracks like a bat out of hell?
Just shoot him, for Christ's sake!
와 이거 씨 바로 앞에도 안 맞냐. 아 진짜
Somebody get me! You got the guts! Can't hide from me!
Anyway, excuse me, Ben. Where would I find the gentleman's facilities? Suddenly I have an urgent need to drain my one-eyed snake. Well, I've had more than a few drinks, and I've been sitting here for quite a spell.
Right through there. Let me show you. I've never heard so much malarkey in my life.
You think he's bullshitting us?
You don't think he's Silas Greaves?
I think he's just some old drunk looking for some free liquor.
I don't know, Jack. I think I believe him. You don't think he met Jesse James?
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. That story makes no sense at all.
Jack.
I mean, you gotta be 2 bricks short of a load to believe that cock and bull story.
I don't agree.
Jack, lay off the
But you
bar.
seriously think that tired old man went toe-to-toe with Jesse James?
Well, that's better. Did I mention that this Jim was married to the infamous Belle Starr? Of course, I didn't learn that until later. Anyway, I made my way forward the best I could. Around the sides, over the roof. At some point, some sumbitch saw me and shouted out, "It's a damn Pinkerton!"
아니 뭐야 이거? 어. 아이. 아,
At some point, some sumbitch saw me and shouted out, "It's a damn Pinkertons!" At some point, some sumbitch
뭐야?
saw me and shouted out, "It's a damn Pinkertons!" It was definitely safer on the inside of the train. At some point, some sumbitch saw me and shouted out, "It's a damn Pinkertons!"
It's a damn Pinkerton!
Now, I never worked for that limey cocksucker, but I guess they assumed I was one of his assassins. Those evil bastards firebombed Jesse's mother's house and killed his stepbrother. So it's no wonder each and every asshole on that train wanted me dead.
Everybody's always mistaking you for somebody else, aren't they? Why is that, I wonder?
Don't rightly know, Jack. I'm just telling you how I remember.
I bet you are.
This asshole don't know who he's up against.
아, 왜 지는 거야, 이거? 아, 내가 먼저 쐈잖아. 바로 앞에다 안 맞는 거지 같은데, 진짜. 아니, 길이 어디야, 이거? 아, 뭐 어떻게 건너가란 거야, 이거? 아, 씨. 아, 길을 가르쳐줘야 될 거 아니야. 이거 뭐 어떻게 하는 거야, 이거.
I came across a flat car piled high with logs and had to come up with a creative way to make my way forward. I wondered if I was ever gonna find the front of that train, or the bastard I was after. Right about then, I was attacked by some asshole on a Gatling gun.
Yeah, seems like you run into a lot of them.
Asshole?
Gatling guns.
Yes, I did. Now, I don't remember how I took it out. It was either a bullet or dynamite.
아, 걔 트는 건 사슴 뭐냐 이거.
Right about then, I was attacked by some asshole on a Gatling gun.
Yeah, seems like you run into a lot of them.
Asshole?
Gatling guns.
Yes, I did. Now, I don't remember how I took it out. It was either a bullet or dynamite.
Where would you find dynamite?
Does it really matter, Jack? You're messing with the flow of the story here.
아, 뭐야 이거. 아이씨.
I was looking for Jim and shooting any son of a bitch stupid enough to get in my way. And that included Jesse James himself. There sure were a lot of men determined to die that day.
That's right. Good. Kill that missile!
It was then that Jesse detached the express car from the rest of the damn train. I could see Jesse waiting for me, fixing to kill me so he could get away with all that money.
You had a showdown with Jesse James?
Of course he didn't. Everybody knows that Jesse was killed by Bob Ford. Yeah, Jesse went out like John Wesley Hardin. Coward shot him in the back of the head.
Guess it doesn't matter how far you run, does it, Ben? Your past always catches up with you.
아이씨. 왜 안 맞는 거야?
Yeah, I didn't kill Jesse James. Just wounded him bad enough to convince him to hang up his guns.
What about that Jim fella? What happened to him?
I figure he was up front with a gun to the engineer's head. That bastard slipped away again. I'll tell you how I got him. But first I need to wet my whistle.
뭐야, 끝난 거야? 와, 드디어 끝인가? 아닌데, 끝이 아니잖아. 아, 어디가 끝이야. 아.
After my showdown with Jesse, I continued to track his brother, Frank, and that son of a bitch, Jim. I followed those bastards into the high mountains as they were going to ground.
What mountains would that be?
Somewhere in the Ozarks, I believe. The perfect place to hide out from the authorities. In fact, before I could find them, some Indians who fled the Reds and were hiding out from the military found me first. They probably thought I was a cavalry scout and didn't want me telling the military where they were.
Indians?
They could have been Cheyenne, but there was all sorts of renegades roaming the landscape back then. Hey, how about another whiskey, Ben? Nothing better to soothe the troubled soul. Now, where was I? Indians, right. I had more than my share of run-ins with the Red Man. Like that time... Did I tell you about Grey Wolf?
Yes, sir. You did.
Ah, of course I did. In fact, I could still remember that old medicine man's words to me.
Jesus Christ, we're back to that again.
You carry great darkness in your heart. It will claim your soul. You will come to this place again and kill many more men. Will grow until it consumes everything you are.
So, did you ever find him? Who? The man you are after.
Let me ask you something, Ben. You ever think about death?
Mr. Greaves, are you all right?
Ooh, death. Oh, death. Won't you spare me over till another year? What is this that I can't see? With ice cold hands taking hold of me. Well, I am death, none can excel. I'll open the door to heaven or hell. Oh, death, someone would pray. Could you wait to call me another day? Oh, death, won't you spare me over till another year?
So are you gonna answer the question?
What question is that?
Jim Reed. Did you ever find him?
Reed was indeed that son of a bitch's surname. That's right, Ben. A despicable character. I remember him laughing like a hyena that cold morning they lynched me and my brothers. He was intent on avoiding my vengeance, but nothing was gonna stop me. Nothing. I finally did track those outlaws down. They had long rifles with scopes and were well positioned to pick off any poor soul who came anywhere close.
갖고 있는데.
I'm guessing Frank James believed I was responsible for the demise of his brother Jesse. I couldn't really disagree with the man, as I thought Jesse was dead then as well. He backed off as I closed in on him, but he was still intent on killing me. And when I closed in on him again, he backed off again, looking for a better angle on me. Hell, I can't fault Frank for wanting his revenge, as I was there for the same damn reason myself. At this point, I'm guessing you think Silas Greaves is a worse murderer than Jim Reed ever was.
No, sir.
A man who spent half his life killing somebody's brothers, fathers, sons.
뭐야? 이거 왜 주는 거야? 왜 주는 거지?
It was a pitched battle that could have gone either way. Luckily, I had some dynamite in my possession.
Dynamite. On your person.
A few sticks, just in case. It's always good to be prepared.
뭐야 이거?
It was a pitched battle that could have gone either way. Luckily, I had some dynamite in my possession.
Dynamite. On your person.
A few sticks, just in case. It's always good to be prepared.
Right.
I'm just laying out the facts as I remember them, Jack.
And that son of a bitch! Take him out!
아,
It went tumbling right off that cliff.
With Frank James still in it?
Yes, sir.
But Frank James is still alive, living in Missouri, showing folks around the family farm for 25 cents a tour.
I didn't say he died in the fall, now did I?
I'm done with this damnable outlaw life. Kill me, don't kill me, do what you will. At this point, I just don't give a shit.
I explained to Frank that I had nothing against him personally and that I was looking for someone else.
You want Reed? Have at him. I never did like that bastard. I am done here.
We parted in peace as Frank pointed out the path to my prey before making his way back down the hill.
What happened with Reed?
Well, I finally found the last of the gang hiding in a nearby cave. First, I had to dispatch the lookouts, as I was determined not to let that murderer escape my revenge again. But rather than wander in willy-nilly, I decided it would be better to smoke that sumbitch out. Hey, Reed! I shouted. No wonder you're so ornery. Can't be easy being married to Belle Starr. While you're off providing for the family, she's spreading her legs for every Tom, Dick, and Cole Younger. Not an attractive woman exactly, but very friendly. At least she was to me.
Son of a bitch!
It was then that the last bunch of bandits jumped out of hiding.
Why won't this asshole give up?
와 이런 거 아니야?
Eventually, it was just me and Reed. I had waited a long time to face him down, so I could repay him for what he did to my brothers.
아이. 아, 뭐가 저리 빨라. 아.
repay him, I did.
오, 씨.
Well, I don't know about you boys, but I'm pretty beat.
Well, it's too damn bad you never found that Bob character. Seems a shame you never had to pay.
Well, funny thing about that, I did have one more chance at him.
뭐야? 에피소드 왜
6
7로 가?
months ago, I heard that Butch and Sundance were back in the States and had gathered up some of their old gang. I tracked them down, hoping that Roscoe Bob Bryant had returned with them.
So you're saying they didn't die down in Bolivia?
That's what I'm saying.
누가 가는
40 years I had waited to get my hands on the last of my brother's killers. Not even an army of demons could have stopped me now. Both Johnny Ringo and Jim Reed fell fairly quickly. But the last one, Roscoe Bob Bryant, that son of a bitch had managed to escape my vengeance time and time again. I couldn't even be certain I'd recognize him after all those years. By now, he had to be close to 70.
For all you know, he could have been dead.
That thought had indeed crossed my mind, as did others. For instance, did my thirst for vengeance turn me into something worse than the man I was after? By this point in my storied career, I had killed more men than Bob Bryant ever had. I was furious as hell at that bastard for making me who I am. Nothing could stop me from taking his life. I'd been after that killer forever. From the time I rode with Billy the Kid. But that chapter of my story you already know.
Chapter of that fairy tale, you mean?
Suddenly, it was 1910. There I was, an old man roaming a ghost town dead almost 2 decades. Town was falling apart, just like me. But I wasn't about to call it quits. Even though the ghosts of my dead brothers were begging me to end what I started so long ago.
Mr. Graves, are you all right? Would you like some water?
The Wild Bunch knew I was there. They were after a treasure they had hidden before they fled, buried in the grave of a dead amigo. Some folks think the town is haunted, so they figured there wouldn't be many people poking around. I intended to fill that grave with Bob Bryant's corpse. But like I said, the bandits knew I was on to them. They lured me in, and hit me with everything they had.
아이씨.
I'm blowing your ass up.
That old fart ain't right there.
야야야야.
Put that geezer in the ground.
Put a bullet in.
But you obviously prevailed since you're sitting here telling us the tale.
Actually, in that moment, I did not prevail.
So I suppose we're talking to a ghost.
Funny you should put it like that, Jack. Because when I woke up,
From the dead?
there was silence all around me. I could swear to God I saw Billy then.
Billy who?
Billy, the kid. William Bonney. He was shooting at me from a rooftop. Here, and there, and even over there.
So I am right. You are touched in the head.
Mr. Greaves, perhaps we should switch you to coffee?
You see that old Indian again, too?
No, but I did see Billy's killer. Patrick Floyd Garrett. He came at me guns a-blazing. But I knew that old war horse had died 2 years before. I wondered if maybe I was dead too and confronting the ghosts of my past. Perhaps all my sins were coming back to haunt me and drag me down to perdition. I saw Henry Plummer throw dynamite at me. And in the gates of the cemetery, I saw John Wesley Harding, just like I remembered him.
와, 안 보인다, 애들. 아, 너무한 거 아니야?
Robert Ollinger appeared with his terrible double-barrel shotgun.
아씨. 아니, 이거 너무한 거 아니냐고, 진짜. 안 보여, 애들이. 아.
하이 롱킬라크.
아, 보라긴 못 봐요. 와, 이거 진짜 난이도가 왜 이렇게 어렵지? 누가 이거 게임 쉽다고 했는데.
First Army was stopping me.
My father-in-law got hit with a falling branch. He spent the rest of his life talking to dogs.
Newman Hayes Clanton, William Brocious, John Peters Ringo, they all wanted me dead.
뭐야? 어디서 쏘는지도 모르겠어, 씨.
Newman Hayes Clanton, William Brocious, John Peters Ringo, they all wanted me dead. Newman Hayes Clanton, William Brocious, John Peters Ringo, they all wanted me dead. The Dalton brothers, Robert and Grattan, guardians of the Garden of the Dead. George Curry and Harvey Logan, alias Kid Curry, both thirsty for vengeance from the great beyond. Jesse, Woodson, James, and Jim Reed. Each one deader than the next. I thought I would go crazy. Thought.
와, 씨, 미친. 왜 이런 많이 났구나.
Finally, I saw Harry Alonzo Longabaugh.
The Sundance Kid?
Like a general leading his legion of the dead.
You told us before you'd seen him alive.
He was alive.
아, 씨. 피통 더럽게 많네, 진짜, 씨.
Voice called to me from afar. It was Robert Leroy Parker, a.k.a. Butch Cassidy, coming at me from out of the fog.
Thanks for taking care of that bastard.
용필라품 진행범죄 최저 시간은 7시간 이후.
최대 시간 7시간이 뭐예요?
But the kid wasn't quite deceased. Not yet.
Takes more than one little bullet to kill the likes of me, partner.
Those two looked like they hadn't seen each other for quite a while.
하나당 1시간
Clearly, they were no
걸린다고
longer
보면 돼.
amigos.
아,
멀리 가는
한계다.
거랑 등등도 꽤 걸리니.
Won't have to, Butch. I'm killing you
아, 그냥 GTA 하지
I
말까?
asked them about Bob Bryant, but they were too busy with their own heated conversation.
아, 너무 복잡해, GTA.
You want my money and the love of my life?
뭐 다 하려니까 복잡하다.
Figured it all away, Butch. Anna's mine. So is that damn money.
I didn't want to shoot anybody until I had an answer to my question, but those boys didn't give me much of a choice.
이게 뭐야? 누구 죽여야 돼? 아, 누굴 죽여야 맞는 거야, 이거?
늦어서 죽었군.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid died there in that cemetery not 6 months ago.
불명예스럽게 죽었어. 아, 몰라, 씨. 피날레? 이제 마지막인가?
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid were killed by the Bolivian army. Everybody knows that.
That's the legend, but it ain't the truth.
So, you never found Bob? There is no Bob. This old sumbitch ain't even Silas Greaves.
Sir, is that true? Have you been pulling our legs this whole time?
Well, not the whole time.
Oh, man, I think you've worn out your welcome here.
Maybe you're right, Jack. Maybe it's time to pay. You see, Ben, or should I say Bob, your past always catches up with you.
I was a different man back then, crazy. Drinking, I've changed my ways, I swear to you. If I could turn back the
아,
clock...
얘가 이제
But you
가볍구나.
can't, Bob.
뭐.
Why'd you toy with me like that? Telling those tales, knowing all along. Why not just lay your cards on the table?
Wanted to suss you out, Bob. See what kind of man you turned out to be. Maybe prod you into drawing on me. See, all those years on your trail turned me into a killer. Can't even remember who I was before you tried to murder me. You, on the other hand, walked that very same path in exactly the opposite direction.
What do you mean by that?
You think your life is worth sparing, Bob? Boy, what's your name again?
It's Eisenhower, sir. Dwight Eisenhower.
What do you plan to do with your life, Dwight Eisenhower?
Tomorrow I'll be leaving for West Point, sir.
So, you want to be a soldier? Well, then do it right, son. Don't tear down the world out of anger and spite like I did. You build it up. You do something decent with your life, you hear me?
Sir? Yes, sir.
I won't have it said I left you with nothing, Bob.
왜 끝이야?
Ooh, dear. Ooh, dear.
복사하면 어떻게 되는 거야?
Won't you spare me? Well, I don't know about you boys, but I'm pretty beat.
Well, it's too damn bad you never found that Bob character. Seems a shame you never had to pay.
Well, funny thing about that. "40 years I had waited to get my hands on the last of my brother's killers. Not even an army of demons could have stopped me now. Both Johnny Ringo and Jim Reed fell fairly quickly. But the last one, Roscoe Bob Bryant, that son of a bitch had managed to escape my vengeance time and time again. I couldn't even be certain I'd recognize him after all those years. By now, he had to be close to 70.
For all you know, he could have been dead.
That thought had indeed crossed my mind, as did others. For instance, did my thirst for vengeance turn me into something worse than the man I was after? By this point in my storied career, I had killed more men than Bob Bryant ever had. I was furious as hell at that bastard for making me who I am. A man with no family, no friends, no purpose except shooting Bob Bryant dead. Nothing could stop me from taking his life. I've been after that killer forever. From the time I rode with Billy the Kid.
뭐야?
Nothing could stop me from taking his life.
진실을 따고
I've been after that killer forever. From the time I rode with Billy the Kid. But that chapter of my story you already know.
점심
Chapter of that
드셨나요?
fairy tale, you
내가
mean?
먹었어요.
Suddenly it was 1910. There I was an old man roaming a ghost town dead almost 2 decades. Town was falling apart, just
콤프라스트
like
먹게.
me.
여기 어디야?
But I wasn't about to call it quits. Even though the ghosts of my dead brothers were begging me to end what I started so long ago.
Mr. Graves, are you all right? Would you like some water?
The Wild Bunch knew I was there. They were after a treasure they had hidden before they fled, buried in the grave of a dead amigo. Some folks think the town is haunted, so they figured there wouldn't be many people poking around.
어디야 이거? 아, 씨 어디 가는 거지? 왜 길이 없냐? 왜 길이 없어 왜? 예? 아, 뭐야 이거?
오,
아니 스토리 진행이 안 돼 여기서.
대바대 해골상인.
대바대 해골상이요? 아이 나 이거 어떻게 왔더라?
I intended to fill that grave with Bob Bryant's corpse. But like I said, the bandits knew I was on to them. They lured me in and hit me with everything they had.
But you obviously prevailed since you're sitting here telling us the tale.
Actually, in that moment, I did not prevail.
So I suppose we're talking to a ghost.
Funny you should put it like that, Jack. Because when I woke up,
From the dead?
there was silence all around me. I could swear to God I saw Billy then.
Billy who?
Billy, the kid. William Bonney. He was shooting at me from a rooftop. Here, there, even over there.
So I am right. You are touched in the head.
Mr. Greaves, perhaps we should switch you to coffee?
You see that old Indian again, too?
No, but I did see Billy's killer, Patrick Floyd Garrett. He came at me, guns a-blazing. But I knew that old war horse had died 2 years before. I wondered if maybe I was dead too and confronting the ghosts of my past. Perhaps all my sins were coming back to haunt me and drag me down to perdition. I saw Henry Plummer throw dynamite at me. And in the gates of the cemetery, I saw John Wesley Harding, just like I remembered him.
죽는다 롱필라쿤.
Robert
난
Oliver
죽을 거야.
with his terrible double-barrel shotgun. No ghost army was stopping me.
My
짤 거라고,
father-in-law
씨.
got hit with a fallen branch. He spent the rest of his life talking to dogs.
Newman Hayes Clanton, William Brocious, John Peters Ringo, they all wanted me dead. The Dalton brothers, Robert and Grattan, guardians of the Garden of the Dead. George Curry and Harvey Logan, alias Kid Curry, both thirsty for vengeance from the great beyond. Jesse, Woodson, James, and Jim Reed. Each one deader than the next. I thought I would go crazy.
Thought?
Finally, I saw Harry Alonzo Longabaugh,
The Sundance Kid?
like a general leading his legion of the dead.
You told us before that you'd seen him alive.
He was alive.
야고.
call to me from afar. It was Robert Leroy
Oh.
Parker, a.k.a. Butch Cassidy, coming at me from out of the fog.
Thanks for taking care of that bastard.
사일러스 그리브즈.
But the kid wasn't quite deceased. Not yet.
Takes more than one little bullet to kill the likes of me, partner.
Those two looked like they hadn't seen each other for quite a while. Clearly, they were no longer amigos.
Shit. I was hoping I wouldn't have to kill you.
You won't have to, Butch. I'm killing you first.
I asked them about Bob Bryant, but they were too busy with their own heated conversation.
Let me get this shit straight. You want my money and the love of my life?
You frittered it all away, Butch. Etta's mine. So is that damn money.
I didn't want to shoot anybody until I had an answer to my question, but those boys didn't give me much of a choice. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid died there in that
진짜
cemetery not
한 방에
6 months
컷.
ago.
컷.
고인물이다.
아, 지구는 너무 싸요. 자, 이제 복수 엔딩 보자. 아, 아까는 살려줬으니까 이제 복수 엔딩 봐야지.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid were killed by the Bolivian army. Everybody knows that.
That's the legend, but it ain't the truth.
So, you never found Bob? There is no Bob. This old sumbitch ain't even Silas Greaves.
Sir, is that true? Have you been pulling our legs this whole time?
Well, not the whole time.
Oh man, I think you've worn out your welcome here.
Maybe you're right, Jack. Maybe it's time to pay. You see, Ben, or should I say Bob, your past always catches up with you.
I was a different man back then, crazy. Drinking, I've changed my ways, I swear to you. If I could turn back the clock,
But you can't, Bob.
되돌릴 수 없다네. 아.
Why'd you toy with me like that? Telling those tales, knowing all along. Why not just lay your cards on the table?
Here. I won't have it said that I left you with nothing.
That's how you want it? So be it.
Holy shit!
Molly, move against that wall. Go.
야, 드디어 밥하고 싸우네.
이제 죽는 롱킬라쿤.
왜, 뭐야? 아니, 이거 왜 죽는데?
역시
아니, 어이가 없네, 이거 왜 죽는 거야?
죽는 롱킬라쿤이야. 지금 쏘셔요.
Oh my god! Oh Jesus!
아 이거는 반칙이 없구나.
Did you know it was him all along?
내가
Cassidy
이겼군.
told me Bob was in Abilene before he died. But I wasn't sure Ben was my man
세상에
until he
금발
revealed how
포니테일
much he knew
나약해.
about Ringo and Reed. The coin, of course. Well, that was the
사과한테
last
저항
nail
없이
in that
지다니.
particular coffin.
I better go get the sheriff.
You okay, boy? You look a
아까
mite shook up.
롱킬라쿤이지.
Dwight, maybe you best go home. Young Eisenhower here is leaving for West Point tomorrow. He shouldn't get caught up in something like this.
I think I might
이번엔
head out
내가
myself
쏘라고
at
한
this
거.
juncture. Unless you want to stop me,
아,
Jack.
No, sir. Mr. Greaves.
So where are you going now? Now that you had your
그러니 내가
revenge?
이긴 후후.
Doesn't really matter, does it? As I've sold my soul for it, and will never again walk with those I have lost.
아 뭐야 별거 없잖아. 아, 아, 별게 없네 엔딩이. 아,
Won't you spare me over till another year?
아, 약해서 시시했다.
여기 오는 과정이 겁나 빡세네. 아, 그래도 이거 게임 잘 만든 것 같은데 왜 이런 게임이 자주 안 나와요? 아, 이런 게임 많이 나왔으면 좋겠는데. 아, 2010년대만 해도 이런 게임이 많이 나왔는데 2020년도 넘어가면서 많이 없어진 것 같아 이런 게임.
There are men who fear legends, but a man legends fear. He's a four-hosted reaper, crying bullets for tears. When a drought comes in justice, bullets make good rain. When the heartache has dried up, only blood heals the pain. There's a time for grieving and a time to just pray. There's a time for forgiving, but it's not for today. You can hide sins from the gavel. You can drown them in rum. When silence grease finds you, there's nowhere to run. And time goes too slowly for the gunslinger's eye. Till he's buried his promise, there's no time to cry. There's a time for grieving and a time to just pray. There's a time for forgiving, but it's not for today. There's a time for grieving and a time to just pray. When silence grease finds you, it's a time you must pay. That's a time you must pay.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Won't you spare me over till another year?
아, 크레딧이 왜 이렇게 길어? 아, 다 왔다. 돌비 디지털 서라운드 오션. 아 뭐야 아무것도 없잖아. 에이 뭐야 이거.
고인물 디귿디귿.